Thank you for taking your time to come and join us in learning something new. So, this webinar is brought to you by School.io, your digital learning partner. Everything DevOps that you want to go to, School.io is the place. Anything tech, it's not just DevOps, things, tech, Python, and all what's not. We are here for you. School.io is here for you. So, in today's webinar, we have this very interesting topic, the intersection of business and tech, how to bridge the gap. So we know severally, when you hear of business, a lot of people grow up with, so many people grow up with the idea or learning that it's good to start a business of your own or have that entrepreneurial spirit, to own a business, to create something. And then recently, there's been this wave of technology. So when you have the two, you say, okay, I'm a business owner, and then this tech is in vogue. How do I marry the two? That's what we're here to find out and learn more about, and also talk about it. This webinar is not just going to be for you to listen, stay at the back end and listen. It's also for us to interact after listening to our wonderful, wonderful guest speaker. We'll also get to ask him questions, we'll also get to contribute. So get your pen and papers ready, write down any idea that you think of, you pick out from the session, and be ready to contribute, not only ask questions, but also to contribute and add to our wealth of knowledge. And also, before we also start, get ready your social media handle so that we can connect with you during our break, and that so that it's not when we ask you, you search for it. This is just also a great hangout time to get to know you better. And that's it. So without further ado, I would be inviting our guest speaker, the person of Oluwatobi Ezekiel Adefison. Yes, I hope I pronounced that correctly. If I did not. So Oluwatobi is someone that he's the bookie. That's what I will call him. He's someone that he likes reading a lot. He loves research. He has done lots of analysis, lots and lots and lots of it. So he's really a great person to help us understand how we can marry the business and the tech world together. He's someone that has started his own business. He's someone that is also interested in creating and solving solutions a whole lot. And he has handled lots and lots of projects in this life. He's currently studying. And in fact, I'll leave the honors. I'll do the honors. Oluwatobi, please do the honors of introducing yourself, coming on board and introducing yourself. Let me not take it from you, because I will not do justice enough to this. So hello, Oluwatobi, how are you? Hello, Oluwatobi Adefison, are you on the call? If you are, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening.
Yes, good evening. How are you? Where are you joining us from? So the beautiful thing, hello. Nice to see you. Yes.
Nice to see you.
So no several people are joining us from different parts of the world. That's a very interesting thing. Like my new friend this evening, sis, where are you joining us from? If you can still speak, where are you joining us from? I'm joining you from Port Harcourt, Nigeria. And funny enough, it rained today, or it rained heavily yesterday. The road was just messed up today and everywhere. So where are you joining us from, sis? And before we go to Oluwatobi, I know several people are joining us from various parts of the world. We have people joining us from Canada, the US, so several people from Nigeria, other parts of Africa, and different parts of Nigeria. So,
nice.
where are you joining us from, Oluwatobi? Maybe this name, this is.
As I speak, I'm currently in Spain, and I'm actually speaking from Spain. And to the introduction, I would also love to, maybe as a way of meeting my audience, if they can just do a little introduction, just your name. For short, I'm Oluwatobi by name. And you can just type where you are from in order not to waste time on that, so that we can just have that in the chat section.
Yeah. So everyone typing where you're joining us from in the in-call message. as a request from our very great guest. Oh, Namibia, that's beautiful.
Yes.
Welcome from Namibia. Okay, over to
Okay.
you.
Oh, all right. So, she has started the introduction already. I just had to put some little addition. There might just be a little addition to that. Okay. Oluwatobi Adefison is my name, and um, currently, by the grace of God, I'm currently a research intern at Gilytics AG Valencia, that is in Spain, and I'm also a graduate researcher here in Spain also at an institute called Institute of New Imaging Technologies. And what we do basically here is we are into research, software programming, research and software development is what we really do here. So far I've been undergoing a lot of training in the aspect of geospatial technologies, how to use location and location intelligence for a lot of things. Like the list goes on like that. So the learning has been massive. Yeah, so but it has been also engaging and I've really been learning. So then aside that, I am actually the founder of Fizz Geospatial. I own my own company, Fizz Geospatial. I started that in Nigeria before I left for my master's degree studies here in Europe. And I'm also the co-founder for NAS Future, Nasara Future. And I'm also part of the planning committee for, I know you might have heard it before, Guest Impact Fellowship. So I'm also one of the board members for Guest Impact Fellowship. So without wasting time, I don't know if I can go ahead with my presentation. Yeah, I can see some people joining us. I can see Mide from Toronto. Nice to meet you, Mide. And okay, can I share my slide now?
Please go ahead. Yes.
Okay. So I don't know. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Yes, I can.
Okay.
Can we all see his screen?
I believe we all can. A reply. I will appreciate getting a reply just to see in this chat. Let me see the chat preview. Okay. Thank you, Mide. Thank you. I can see your message in this chat box. Okay, so this evening, like we all know, I'll be talking on a topic titled "The Intersection of Business and Technology and How Do We Bridge the Gap." So I might be, I know I had to sit down and think of this. Where do I start from? That was the first question that came to my mind. Like, where do I start from? And another question that I even had to ask my host was that, okay, who are my audience? Because I really need to know who my audience is so as to create a balance. But from our topic, and I'm sure there's something that really captivated, something that drew your attention, something that brought you here. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it's something that has to do either with business or technology. So you are either a business person or probably a tech person or both. You know, it's possible. We do have people like that. For someone like me, I'm a mix of both. I'm both in business and one leg in business, another leg we're also doing technology. So yeah, so you might either fall in either, like you might fall in either of this category, fine. So I want to say you're welcome. And I want to also say I'm very, very happy. I find this as an opportunity to be here. And I'm so happy to be sharing sharing the little from my knowledge so far. So okay, so to the topic, the intersection of business and tech, and how do we bridge the gap? So the first thing that I would just want us to really look into is the word intersection. So when you hear the word intersection, what really comes to mind? For someone like me that has a background in natural science and a mix of statistics and programming thereabouts. The first thing that I want to come to my mind, like I'll be using the basics now. I won't be teaching a math because some of us, especially people in the business line, we really don't like mathematics, but we still have to know how to do that mathematics of calculating the money. It's still mathematics. So yeah, I'll be talking a little statistically, and yeah, please just go along with me and as I unravel some of the key points. Although it might be something you already know, but I wanted to see it from you, definitely see it from a different perspective this evening. So what is intersection? I define intersection. So these are the three areas I was hoping to really talk about, but time may not really permit me to break everything down. Like, as you can see, my outline was to do some research findings, like she said, do some recommendation conclusion, more like I'm doing a serious research. But I feel let me just bring it a little bit down so for the benefit of everybody. So tonight I'll just be talking on the intersection between the business and tech. What is the gap and how do we bridge the gap? So I'll be looking at it on a local level, not on a global level. Looking at it on a global level, we might need to start taking examples from companies that are working, like experiences that we've had and other. But tonight's one will basically be about us, you as a person, you as a business person, you as a tech pro, and also for you that has a company. So what is the intersection of business and technology to you on a local scale? So what is intersection? I want us to think of intersection in terms of the equation of a straight line. What is the equation of a straight line? I'm sure some of us might still be very familiar with this very clumsy alphabet, y equals to ms plus c. So this is basically the equation of straight line. And I would really want us to think of it in terms of business and technology this evening. So, and from this equation, if you go online, you see different equations, you see different formulas, you start seeing some ordinates, abscissas, and no, I won't be going that in depth. I will just be taking it on a very simple level. So if you look at this equation, it has just four parameters. We have the y, we have the m, we have the x, we have the c. The y is the y-axis, the x is the x-axis. The m is actually the gradient or the slope, and the c is the intercept. Now, in our context, I don't want us to think it from a mathematical point of view. I want us to see it from the perspective of business and technology. So I want us to take y as business, see y as your business, and see x as technology. Although you might have your own equation, but this is actually my own equation of a straight line. Your equation of a straight line might be a little different from mine. You might decide to, okay, say technology will be on my y-axis, y business will be on the x-axis. Yeah, it depends on you. We are not here tonight to discuss that. So, but for now, let's just work with this business on the y-axis. The y-axis is actually the line, at least you can see the map. So that's the y-axis, and technology on the x-axis. So what is intersection? Intersection is actually the meeting points of business and technology, where is the meeting point between business and technology, where did these two things meet? And we can see it as a boundary line of the connection point. Okay, what is the line? We were talking about gap. So there's something that is creating the, like there's actually a boundary line. Now I want you to think of it in form of I don't want to start going to fix this. Yeah, in forms of fluids. When you have fluids, we have fluids. When you say fluids, water is a fluid. Air is also a fluid. Water is liquid. Air is gas. But they are both fluids. But when you look at this thing, there's actually a boundary line between the two. They don't really mix. It depends on the type of gas though. So they don't meet. So that boundary line is just like the gap, the intersection between the two. So now, for y, I want us to look at y in terms of how far. So in business, how far are you in business? You might want to ask that question. Like, I want us to reflect on these things. How far up am I in business? Then if you are looking at tests, you want to think of it in terms of how far along are you. I don't know if you get that. How far up in business, then how far along are you? You see, technology is advancing on a daily. Yeah, that's the most amazing thing. You see AI, you see like things are really, really evolved. I saw a very short video that was shared on a WhatsApp platform. I was of a man, I think it was in China, he's a Yoruba man. He was so amazed. He was sharing his experience of a car, a self-driven car in China. This is how far technology has gone, the power of AI, machine learning, and the likes. So how far along? Now, you might want to bring this down to, okay, your business and what is M? What then is M? Without wasting time, M is actually the slope, like I said, is either the gradient or the slope, and is a number. And because it's a number, it means it's quantifiable. I don't want you to just, I'm trying to bring theory into real life contents now. I believe my listeners are following. Just to be sure, can you all hear me? I like feedbacks. Just a chat, like if I can get a response, then I will go on. And hope I'm not too fast. Oh, good. Thank you, Chibuzo. All right. So, yes, a slope is actually a number, and that means it's quantifiable, and it means it's either positive or negative. As a business person, as a tech person, you need to be able to, one of those things you really need to be able to do, I think it's actually a gap in, especially for tech pros. Yeah, in as much as you are growing, you are learning, you are taking online courses. Yeah, I do that a lot. There should be a way you quantify it. Okay, I invested in this course, I bought this course just to increase my knowledge and understanding of, take for example, maybe machine learning and AI now. It's an investment and you are paying for it, so it should be quantifiable. I'm just using that as an example. So it's a number, it's quantifiable, and it means it's either positive or negative. And when you think of slope, it describes both direction and the steepness of the line. That is, when you bring the factor of your business factor, you bring the technology factor, then there's a direction. So it's either it's going steadily. In terms of steepness, it's either it's going gently, moderately, steadily, or parallel. Now, if you look at this, I had to take my time to draw these equations. Now, these equations are, these diagrams can really be applied to different businesses. They all have the same equation, like they all have the same formula, but the scenarios are just different. We have 4 scenarios here, and I would like to do a short breakdown of these scenarios. Okay. Now, if you look at the first scenario, if you look at the first equation here, or the first diagram here, you will see that it's following an increasing and upward movement. I had to go online and like maybe to speed up with time. I need the diagram equation of a straight line. I had to create this myself. But funny enough, most of the diagrams I found online are just in scenario 1. Everything is just increasing. Like everything you see online there is just increasing. More like, oh, but in real life, it's not always increasing. And I'm just trying to use this simple methodology to explain it. I could have gone as far as, okay, because in real life, business and technology is not really a straight line. If you want to look at it, the intersection is actually not a straight line. But in order to simplify it a little bit, I had to use that equation because there are other factors, different factors that contribute to it. Like I was sharing with a colleague, and I had to tell him that even equation of life is not straight. Everything, I was still trying to discuss something there, and another thing popped up. Like, it just changed the orientation, and steadiness and everything. So yeah, but for now, for the sake of understanding, let's stick with this. So if you look at the left one, it's increasing and it's upward. It's also slant, and to the right, which is the second scenario, you see that it's decreasing. That is, when you look at it from left to right, it's decreasing, it's going downward, and it's also slant. Then the fourth one, you could see that there is no change, no observable change. Some of us that really studied economics, I took my time I'm a science student, but I am always very attentive in class whenever my economics teacher is explaining. Why? Because she uses the law of demand and supply. It's just similar to this, almost as similar as this, where you have the price and the quantity demanded and order. So I always sit down to understand this, because when you talk about money, hey, my ear is always open. So that's just by the way. If you look at the one to the left, there's no changes. It's vertical, that is up and down, and it's parallel. Then to the right, you see no changes, is horizontal. It's also parallel, it's parallel to the technology axis. But can we say these two lines are growing? Can we say there's a growth here or not? Now, for business and technology, let's say for a business person, somebody that is in the midst of the two, okay, you have a mix of both business and technology, and you happen to be you didn't improve on your technology. The technology you have been using so far from the day you started your business is that same technology you are using. Despite the fact that technology has evolved, things have changed, they no longer use Excel. Take, for example, maybe Excel is what you use for your analysis, business analysis, and you are still sticking to Excel. I'm sorry for mentioning Excel. Excel has even developed. That's the truth. We have newer version of Excel. You'll be amazed to see some things in Excel, like, okay, but I'm just trying to use that as an example. So let's say, okay, you didn't change technology, still using the same thing all over, and like you never changed, but to you, it's like it's going up, or like you're still getting your needed profit and all without changing your technology. And to the right, you could see that, okay, the business hasn't changed. I don't know if you get. The first one, the technology is not changing, but the business growth and everything is changing. For the second one, you could see that the business has not changed, but there's a change in technology. Okay, so I want to have a short break section, and just to give credit to this man. His name is Isaac Todd Hunter. He's one of those that really, talking about equation of straight line today, but he's one of those people that like, he was the first person. Let me just say, in science they say who is the father of this, father of economics, so this was the person that created the equation of a straight line. And I'm getting and so far a lot of things have, like, laws, a lot of laws are also built on this, the law of demand and supply, law of Majima, a lot of things. And tonight, thanks to him, we are also talking about the intersection between business and technology. Okay. So now, in order to be able to bridge this gap, I think it's very important to quit the talking and start the doing. That's the main thing. And it's a quote by Walt Disney. Enough of talking. I want to create room for discussion. Enough of talking, and it's important to do the doing. The doing is the business, is where the work is, where you have to do what is needful. So I don't know if there might be any question from my audience. So far, I was told I have just 30 minutes. So I had to short I would have loved to go deeper, but my presentation slide was just based on the time allocated to me. So I don't know if there are questions. Okay, so summary, the equation of a straight line is simple, but not just for velocity, law of demand and supply, but we can apply it to business and technology. One of the most amazing things I've seen so far since I got to Europe, and I think that happened just last week, where I was sharing an idea with my boss on what to do. Like, we really need to, okay, let me just explain you. I needed to create some points, geolocation points, and I needed to use Python. Lo and behold, I know what I need to do. But how to now bring this theoretical context? I created a conceptual model of what I want to do. But how to now bring this into computer system? He now said he has an idea. I said, okay, let me wait and see the new thing my boss wants to bring in. To my amazement, my boss he did something that I've known a long time ago, and it's the law of vector forces. He started doing the analysis, and I'm like, wow. So this is it. So it's just the same way with equation of straight line. And yeah, thank you very much.
All right, all right, all right. Thank you very much, Oluwatobi. It was a delight having you here. Teach us physics, because basically I learned everything physics, don't mind me, that's on the side. So it's time before we continue, it's time for questions, contribution. The floor is open from the very wonderful people we have here. We'd love to hear from you. Do you have any questions, perhaps? Do you have what to contribute? We've already learned a lot, and due to the time limit we have on our end, of course, we want to be able to release you to have the rest of your day to yourself. But we want to hear from you. What's your contribution? Do you have any contribution to give, or do you have a question for our guest or for any other person? We're waiting.
I'm going over the comments. I can see Chooks Ifionu. Chooks is journeying from Spain spiritually, but is in Lagos, Nigeria physically. Okay. Please drop your questions so that we can all look into it together.
You have a comment. Oh, sis, thank you for paying attention. You can read it. The comment is, she said, Matt, you made me love math now. I have no idea why I learned that in school. Wow, can you see? So you've
Yeah.
made a good impact. Over to you, yes. I thought you wanted to comment about it, what she said.
Okay, yeah, I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. I think that's all I have to say now. Yeah, and I hope you'll be willing to take it further and also apply it to real life context. Yeah, most of these things that we'll see, or most of these theoretical backgrounds we have, it's one of those things that are really applicable in real life context. Like this evening, I had to do before coming back, I had to go running just to exercise because I've been sitting for hours. So I had to do some exercise, then came back. And while I was coming back, I saw a design, like a tech project like that. And I was looking at this that, man, and it's just these basic theories of physics, chemistry, and all that is brought together to have that. Time will not really permit me. I would have, because I saw one of the staffs there because there's this building we use for innovation building where you have different companies coming together. They have their offices and all that. So I just saw this while then I started loving engineering, that people will not go back and do engineering. So yeah, no knowledge is lost. And yeah, the mathematics, knowledge of mathematics, whichever background, your economics, it's very, very relevant. Like I said, economics, I was just doing it then. I didn't even know I'll be going into business to own my own business. But today, the theories I've learned there, I'm using it in the real life. I think there's another question. Okay, so I know a bit of programming. Which programming languages can you use that types of maths? Okay, for me, I'll recommend R. I don't know if you know R. R is actually a programming language for statistics and also for mathematics. You might want to learn R, yes, for statistics. And you can also use Python because I use Python a lot. There's a library in Python for that. So yeah. Any other question? Ejala. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Then for those that will be willing to uh go into Python programming. Now, let me give you the reasons why you might want to take Python. I will recommend the Python programming classes of the school.io. One of those things I had to do was to sit down and check the curriculum. It's powerful. I need to commend that the work of Blessing and the entire team. I'm like, man, you know, if it hadn't be that I know her, I would have thought, oh, so this website is actually from one company abroad. Yeah, but it's amazing. So yeah, I recommend the program. I recommend the courses. Yeah, it's loaded. It's really loaded. So and I think just to encourage you, one of the reasons why I feel Python might be the language you need to learn is that it's robust. Yeah, that's one interesting thing about Python. It's robust. You use Python for data science. You use Python for machine learning. You use it for statistical analysis. You even use Python for web development. One of the struggles I had when starting up with programming was to either follow, my my set of friends are either Python programmers or into R because my background is in natural sciences, so we do a lot of R programming and MATLAB. So I was just confused that which one will I even learn like this? So what I did was, okay, I'll just learn one that can do everything. So that Python is that one programming language that can do everything. Oh, that's nice. Okay. The questions, there's a question. How can businesses effectively identify and prioritize technology solutions that align with the strategic goals? Because in this, okay, I can't say that too well. In this there are new technologies coming out aggressively. How do businesses not get lost in the whole noise? Okay, for me, I would say just know what works for you. That's the truth. Yeah, know what works for you. It's a lot, and so that you know, especially if you are take for example, maybe are you the software engineer of your company, and you are seeing different things. You want to do a project, and you are take for example, programming languages, different softwares, technology solutions. Yeah, you might want to be intimidated, but try not to be intimidated. That's just the truth. That's someone like me. I feel, oh, I'm not there yet, and that I'm not there now doesn't mean I won't get there. So I'm really not intimidated by, okay, what is really flowing. So you might just take advantage of what you have. Okay, what do you have? Which technology solutions do you have? Which ones are the ones that you feel okay? And it also depends on the project you are working on. Take, for example, maybe you have a project. I've seen that a lot. You have a project and a gig, for instance, and you needed to submit. You need to dish out the product as soon as possible. So you might want to be like, and that particular project requires you to learn maybe JavaScript. Yeah, I learned JavaScript. I didn't mention that. I've seen my friend learn JavaScript, but in my program, I had to learn JavaScript by force. So take, for example, maybe you now find yourself in that shoe. You want to do a project and you need a JavaScript, you need the knowledge of HTML, and you have a very short time. What will you do? So Yeah, it depends on the project you have on at hand. I would say it depends on the project you have, and it also depends on the time constraint. So just know your place, know what you really want for your business, and make sure it's customer centric. Design thinking. Because in this structure, okay, I think I've answered the first question. How can businesses effectively identify and prioritize technology solutions that aligns with the strategic goals? Because in this, you have answered that. How do business not get lost in the whole noise? Yeah, know what works for you. That's the answer I can give for now. I think business need to understand design thinking, that is innovation to find the best solution for your business and make sure your customer centric. Yeah, the goal of a business is to satisfy your customer. Yeah, that's the primary objective of a business in the first place. You are creating a solution, you are solving problem, and you are also satisfying your customer for a solution. So, okay, I think business needs to understand design thinking. Yeah, some of the design thinking process. Now, another thing I would love to say is, I'm this kind of person I'm this kind of person that's more into, I love analytics. I love something that has to do with calculation. It's later this business thing came in. So one of those things I had to do was to subject myself to different trainings in business, how to organize business, the design thinking process, for instance, like you mentioned. Yeah, so there might be a need to undergo some of these trainings, especially for somebody that is more of tech and not really into business. So in order to create the balance, there might be a need to undergo some of these trainings. Okay. Okay. Onyedika Chukwu says Python is the way. All right. That's a good one. I think
Yeah,
I have
that's the
new
question
business.
over there. Yes, so I believe there is someone that wants to ask question. Can you unmute your mic and go ahead and ask? And while that is going on, I'll be calling on Share next after the person that has questions to speak. Someone who wants to speak, I believe that's Toby. You want to unmute? Can you unmute your mic and ask your question? Okay, sorry,
Yeah.
before you go ahead, kindly permit me, before you go ahead, please, Oluwaseye, can you prepare? Would you want to hear more about School.io from Oluwaseye? Be introducing School.io and what School.io is all about so that you not think it's school, like you know. So Oluwatobi, over to you. That the other Toby, not our guest speaker.
All right. Namesake. All right. So my question is to connect with what our topic we are looking at intersection and how to bridge the gap. So I'm looking at it from the place of, please, if you don't mind, can you help me go to your slide where you showed the lines? I want to pick something out from there. Thank you. So I'm looking at the place where we have the slope. Yes, this one. So now where it's balanced and it's not falling or rising, would we say that is the perfect intersection, or I heard a little bit of it? So when we have an intersection of technology and in business, is it that we have the perfect technology for where the business is at that time, or what exactly would that mean? I hope a bit clear. Thank you. I'm done with the question.
Oh, hello. I'm so sorry. I've muted myself since I've been talking since it's now I
Oh,
discovered.
sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So I think someone is asking me about metrics. So maybe this might relate to the person's question. Now, if you look at this equation, this graph here is actually, it has no time factor. It's just a 2D visualization, and it really does not have a time factor here. And if you really want to put in the time factor, that means we'll be talking about growth. So I just use this as a way of measuring it.
Okay.
But yeah, but there's no time factor. Now back to one of your questions, because I think your question is a combination of one or two things. Yeah, you were saying something about the perfect one.
Yes.
For me, I think this might be the perfect one. Can you see the slide?
No, it's off.
Oh, okay. I mean, maybe.
Yeah. I'm saying now.
Okay. So for me, I feel this might be the perfect one.
Okay.
Yeah, the first one here might be the perfect one. But care needs to be taken because your business needs to be growing, and also the technology. You don't try not to lock yourself from getting to know or what is working like in the technology space, what is obtainable, what do we have there. So try not to limit yourself. Then another thing is, in as much as, okay, you are increasing the technology, you are trying to improve on the technology you use, and it's making your business grow, you also need to be very careful. I think I wrote that down in my jotter. I could not include it in my slide. This is the first one, is the best, and is the most delicate, fragile. And why is it fragile? It's fragile because it's a slope, it's going upward. Any little mistake will make it to start falling. And how do you keep it from falling? I think one of those things we need to really look into is building a system. You need to build systems around it. So you've been able to establish your business, like a tech company, for instance, which is also a business, and things has been working the way it should be. So in order to keep it going, you need to build a system around it. Example of system is organization structure. You should have an organization structure, but you don't just leave it there. Like, oh, I segmenting the roles and responsibilities. Okay, I want to have this. This will be in charge of finances. So you'll be in charge of sales and the likes. So you don't just want to leave it that way. Another thing you need to do is to always check to see that everything is working. As the manager, as the owner, you need to keep checking that, oh, everything is really working. And you also need to be very careful of all instability. It's the best, like I said, and it's also the most fragile. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Oh, yes. You have. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, there's another question. I think I need to learn this. It's been a while I did. There's a lot to learn all at the same time. Tuesday, okay, our friend from, okay, there's a question here. Our friend from Namibia, he has something to share. Design thinking is the way to understand your customers' pain points, and also what your competitors are doing in the market regarding technology, and try to adopt new tech, and also understand your customers in terms of the new technology that your business is adopting. Yeah, very, very right. That's actually very, very correct. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the contribution. And I'm sorry I could not pronounce that name very well. And Hala. Thanks for your contribution. We love that. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank
Oh,
you very much, Toby. Thank you very much, sis. So thanks to everyone that has made it here and has contributed and asked questions. Sis has contributed, so many has contributed. Now, and I'll be calling on Sheye to tell us what School.io is all about. Tell us more about School.io, the activities, the various events they have, whatnot, so that our questions can be answered. Hello, Sheye. Are you on the call? Over to you. And if you still have questions for Toby, he's still on the call while Sheye is going over it. And once Sheye is done, you're free to go ahead and ask him questions. And that would bring us to the end of our event, of our webinar. Hello, Sheye, are you on the call?
Yeah, hello, good evening, everyone.
Oh, hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, so good evening, everyone. It's been a very informative session. Though I graduated as an economics student, so I could actually relate a little about these mathematical things, but not that deep. But it has been an interesting one and technical one. So briefly, I will just tell us a little bit about School.io. School.io is your learning partner, in terms of learning in terms of learning basically tools and some skills that can be that's applicable to you in the recent world. So we have courses like DevOps classes. Also, we have courses on AI, courses in cloud computing. And when it talks about certifications in AWS, especially, we have courses in for solution architect courses and also for cloud practitioner. So you can actually check out our website, www.school.io, and to see some of the courses that we have. And we have various payment plans that can accommodate everybody. So in case we understand the economic situation and we know that it may not be very comfortable for people to pay at once, so you have to have a payment plan that can, if you want to pay quarterly, if you want to pay monthly, if you want to pay at once or full time, yeah, we can actually accommodate that. So you can actually come to check up our website for those information at any point in time, or hit us on our social media platform and can ask questions from there, and we get back to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Sheye, for that wonderful introduction. So you know what to do when you are in need of any of these. And of course, like you said, you can always join our community where we can rub minds together, share ideas, the contribution and other things. So thank you once again, everyone, for taking out of your wonderful, precious time to join us on today's webinar. And a special shout out goes out to our guest speaker, Oluwatobi, for taking out his time to share his wealth of knowledge with us and also educate us. Thank you very much, everyone. We not only learned about the intersection of tech and businesses, we also did some physics today. We did some maths refresher course. So if anyone asks you if you've learned maths anytime this year, just be affirmative and tell the person, yes, I took a senior class math class and even a physics class. Like that's what this has covered. This is basically a 3-in-1 session for you. You got to know more about where the right place to go to where you have some certain needs, and you also learned physics and math, and you learned how to also do beautiful design thinking, how to marry your business with tech. And thank you, everyone. Special shout out to Tis for joining us from Namibia and also contributing. She not only asked questions, but she contributed too. Thank you very much for all those asked questions. This Oluwatobi's namesake, asking question, and everyone Mide for contributing and joining. So that brings us to the end of today's webinar. just look forward to next month. We'll be having next month's webinar too. Look forward, stay tuned. Remember to follow us on all our social media platforms. We're on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and we have a community on Slack. I'll be dropping the link in the chat so that you can join us. Once you click the link, you'll be able to join us on Slack. So thanks everyone for coming, and do have a good day. Good night, everyone.